Hey, so I'm not sure who will resonate with this video specifically, but on my channel, I'm just posting videos that's really highlighting what I'm going through, my journey of actually becoming successful from third world country all the way to making millions of dollars and eventually billions of dollars. And so the way I'm making these videos is really it's not in the context of let me clickbait, let me do this, let me do that just to get a bunch of views. I just know there's at least 10,000 people out there who think like me, who want to achieve things. And so I'm really making videos for those people and hoping that the YouTube algorithm will find you, right? So, but this one I titled it something along the lines probably of phases of working hard or phases of like hustling or something, right? And what I mean by that is I was just reflecting on my journey, my process of the people who make a lot of money, they're like working hard all the time. It's like as if they're working from 6 a.m. until midnight, right? And I was like, there's no way I could do that. But now I am at a point where from 7, 8 a.m. all the way until like 1 or 2 in the morning, I'm working, right? And I just wanted to share the phases of what I went through so that maybe you could see which phase you're at and what it takes to maybe get to that next phase that you're trying to get to. But for me, how it started was at the beginning, very like 4 years ago probably, I could not work hard at all. As a matter of fact, I used to think somehow that I'll be one of the few people that can become multimillionaire by not working hard at all, right? Like that's how much I hated working hard. And then what happened was back then I used to just watch a bunch of YouTube videos and whatnot and hope that just through watching videos somehow I'm going to become rich, right? And obviously that did not work out. And so eventually I realized, okay, I have to start working a little bit more, like put some work in. And that was like probably the worst phase in terms of how it felt, because there was a lot of fears. I had to step into a lot of territories that I haven't stepped into in terms of walking out of my comfort zone, like going talking to people, going networking, and just any of that stuff, right? Going to big events. And that was probably the most uncomfortable phase of my journey, my growth of getting to a point of making 6-7 figures, close to 7 figures, but over 6 figures in sales. And yeah, so around that time I remember I would work a little bit. I had the characteristic where if I worked hard, I would work hard for like 3 days, 4 days, right? Like almost all day I would work, and then I would just crash, burn out the rest of the week for a week or two or a month. And then when I would get the motivation, I would get back. So around that time I used to do a lot of things based on how motivated I felt. And if I didn't feel motivated, then I just wouldn't do anything, right? And then I realized, okay, to get to that, and which was not sustainable at all. You cannot predict the money that will come in. You can't predict anything, because if I'm just going based on emotions, and emotions are always changing, then it's like it's not predictable. Just like the weather. I live in Houston, and it's like it could be sunny, the next hour it could be like storm, right? So the next phase is where I realized that I have to somehow move myself and still get things done regardless of how I feel, how the weather is, and just anything externally or internally that I would feel. I had to go do it regardless, right? And I had to learn this lesson of just because I'm feeling something and I'm going through an emotional feeling or whatever, that doesn't mean other people are experiencing the same thing. For example, imagine like look at McDonald's, right? I don't eat at McDonald's. I used to get frappes there because I used to like it, but it's open almost all the time. I don't know the hours of when they're open, but anytime I've seen it, it's like open. You could go midnight, they're open. I don't know if they're open 24/7 or they close at some point, but anytime, doesn't matter the time of the day, the weather, whatever, it's like they're always open. But now imagine if the McDonald's company right, and the workers and everything were emotional, and just because they didn't feel good one day, they all just never showed up to work. It's like then they wouldn't be where they are today, where they are making so much money and doing all that stuff. So they show up regardless of how they feel. And throughout my process, I had obviously very good mentors, great mentors still to this day. And without the mentors, I would not be going through any of these phases, by the way. So that's how important a mentor is. And now I'm at a point where I've mentored and am mentoring other people, and the people that I've mentored are now mentoring other people, right? So yeah, and that's what I would say was the most impactful stage of my phase of getting to a point where I could work harder, because now I could do things regardless of how I felt. And that's a very powerful thing, to be able to do whatever you want to do, doesn't matter how you feel, right? It felt like now I had more time that opened up in my day where I could just do anything, right? And then eventually got to a point where then I understood how feelings and emotions work. So it's like I don't even feel a way where it's like I just don't go based on feelings anymore. Like I'm not chasing happiness or none of that stuff. Any person that I've seen that chases happiness is just broke, right? Like that's like the honest reality. So and then the phase after that, so this got me to a point where now I was working at least consistently every day, but not like crazy hours of like from morning all the way till like nighttime, I would maybe work hard for like 3-4 hours, sometimes 6 to 8 hours, right? But then I got to the next phase of where I'm now, where I understand a lot about a lot of things, and now I'm starting to understand how much more there is to learn, how much more there is to achieve, how much there is more to accomplish. The type of people I'm meeting are higher quality people, where now they're introducing me to a lot of great people, and very soon I'll be connecting with different celebrities and things like that, so that they could benefit from the services and all that I offer. And so now it's a very exciting phase where it's like every day, the more now I'm learning, it's just I'm becoming more passionate about life, business, helping people, all of that in general. And for me, when I say business, all I see it as is just helping people, right? Because business is just you provide value and you get money in exchange for the value. But for me, I always focus on what's the highest value I could give people, right? And so now at this stage, it's like I could wake up in the morning at 8 and then work hard all the way until midnight, past midnight, and do it every single day, right? And it's really fun. And then I have one day here and there, like I work hard for like a few weeks, and then I just have one day where I crash and I'm like sleeping or just laying down most of the time, and I just don't do anything at all. And that like helps me recharge, and then I just go back, do it again, right? And so yeah, and that, and each stage, obviously each phase of getting to where I am now required a lot of work, required a lot of great mentors, a great network of people, and great knowledge of how reality works, how does emotions work and things like that. And then at the same time having access to really one powerful technology where it's helping me just learn things at a very, very rapid pace. And that's the same thing that I share with people now, but I share more like one-on-one versus like a YouTube video, because these videos are more so that you see the progress of someone. Like imagine if Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos like could journal their process and capture everything they learn along the way. But the reality is, when I've met people who are worth hundreds of million or even $1 billion, they just got the DNA to be able to just do what it took to become successful, make money and so forth, but they don't even know what that is. They don't even know how they got it. They don't know how to teach it. They don't know any of that. But for me, I've been fortunate enough to be on the side where I didn't have anything. I had all the fears in the world you could ask for. I was the type of person that would go my entire life, never accomplish anything, and probably I would have like everything government would say, I would just listen to everything they said and whatnot. Like that was me. And my family, most of them are like that, right? So it's funny because you could see my family and see, oh, this is where Mahyar would have ended up. Like, I'm not one of these stories that's like, oh, I went from broke to becoming rich and blah blah blah, because there's stories like that. But I've met people like that are like, I went from broke to becoming rich, and it's like they always were hard worker, they always were consistent, they always had discipline. It's just they got introduced to the right opportunity at the right time and they just took off. But I didn't have anything. I didn't have consistency, I didn't have discipline, I didn't have anything that it requires to become successful. I just did not have. I couldn't focus. My focus was less than like a goldfish. Like I couldn't even focus on something for over a minute, right? Because like ADHD and all that stuff. My dad got diagnosed with ADHD. I've had a lot of people that I've helped who were diagnosed with severe dyslexia, all that, and I've had literally the same symptoms as them. I never got diagnosed, but I'm pretty sure if I did, they would tell me I'm dyslexic, ADHD, probably some autism in there. And it was really tough. And once I learned what it took to actually become successful, I realized, oh, this is why a lot of people don't make it, because they just don't know. And even if they do know, how the hell are you gonna integrate that to be able to live it? And without the tools and the support that I've had, it would not be possible. And I tell people, if you're trying to make it, use these same tools that I used. But that's just whoever reaches out to me one-on-one and asks about it. And not many people do it, right? Some people ask me what I did, I tell them, and they still don't do it. And that's why I just don't share all that on a YouTube video, because it's like, I don't know who's watching, and not everyone here is actually really teachable anyway. So this is more so that I could meet the few teachable people that were like me, that are willing to test, that are willing to take risk, that are willing to grow, do whatever, right? Nowadays in society, everyone's just scared. Everyone thinks that everyone's out there to get them, everyone's out there to scam them, it's like, if you have that mindset, then it's like, might as well just not do anything and just sit at home, right? And it's true, there is a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of people that are trying to screw you over. But that's why on these videos, like, I'm not even selling, right? So that you can see, selling is just making a connection with someone and finding out how you can add value to them. And so until I even find out who the person I'm talking to is, what their needs are, how can I help them, like, why the hell would I try to sell the person, right? It just doesn't make sense, because then they get access to me and I don't just work with just everyone, right? So yeah, those are what comes up to me in terms of the different stages that I had to go through. And then you could see for yourself where you're at, and you could reach out to me, be like, hey, I'm at this stage, this phase, how can I get to that next thing? Or what did you do, Mahyar, to get to that next thing, whatever. And then we could hop on a Zoom call or a phone call or whatever and chat, and then I'll just share with you that way once I get to know who you are, right? But yeah, hope you got something out of it, and see you in the next one. Bye.